glasses. I think I can see.
All right. Hello. Welcome. Today we're going to do a set, a Kundalini set for sun energy, since tomorrow is summer solstice, so celebrating the sun and the longest day of the year. So all the sun energy stuff. This one is going to be a little more, a lot of breath of fire, because that's that sun energy, that like really get going energy. So yeah, a lot of the poses, I would have to say probably most of them involve breath of fire. So if you're not comfortable with breath of fire, just long deep breathing is fine. You can always start and then stop and do long deep breathing, pick it up, pick and choose which poses you want to do breath of fire. Whatever's really up to you. Just a heads up, it is a lot of breath of fire, which can build a lot of heat in the body. Also, if you don't really have a really strong breath of fire practice, it might be a little harder to keep up with. So just take your time and breathe deeply if you need to. Me being pregnant, I don't do breath of fire, so I'll just be breathing long and deep and prompting you to do breath of fire. Again, also if you're on your moon cycle, maybe stay away from doing breath of fire. Just don't want to build that heat in there. But breath of fire, go for it, do it. You'll feel great, really energized after this set. All right, let's get started. Hands open on the knees, eyes closed down. Long, deep breaths here. Pulling the air into the belly, expanding the belly through the nose. Exhale, bring the belly button towards the back of the spine. When you're ready, let's start circling the head. Nice deep breaths, opening up the neck and the cervical spine, the throat. In the tarot, there is a card, the sun, and a lot of its meaning kind of comes from just kind of sitting back and letting what, like taking in that energy. So taking in the sun, it's just such a powerful energy. Just learning to lay back, relax, and just take it in, whatever may kind of happen. And reverse your circles. Actually breathe from for the sun, it's a life-giving source and center. Let's take a deep inhale, nice straight spine. Breath, roll the eyes, that third eye. Exhale, relax. It's the life-giving source and center. True nature, heart, guidance, confidence in divine support, enlightenment. Life in paradise, resolution of all opposites, laughing and singing past the shades of the underworld. Apollo, leader of the muses and the spectrum of the arts, self-inseminating creativity. Return of Adam and Eve to the garden in an enlightened state. A win-win experience. All right, let's rub the palms together, nice and heat. Place the palms in prayer on the chest. We'll tune in Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times, connecting us with that golden chain of teachings. Brought down from teacher to teacher, guru to guru of Kundalini Yoga. Connecting with those teachings from India and the seers. Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times. Let's inhale to prepare. Exhale out the mouth. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Hold breath. Roll the eyes, that third eye. And exhale, relax. Bring the hands down on the knees. Let's take our left hand. We're going to take our left thumb. We're going to cover our left nostril. So we're going to begin just breathing through our right nostril. That right nostril is associated with the sun energy, along with the right side of the body, also left hemisphere of the brain, which is that kind of that mass sun energy, also left side of the brain, the analytical, calculating side. So the alertness. So we're going to cover that left nostril, and you can either just breathe deeply through the right nostril, or if you'd like, begin doing breath of fire through that right nostril. And just for recap on breath of fire, if you want to inhale, exhale really rapidly through the nose, pumping the belly. So when you exhale, you're pushing the belly button in towards the back of the spine, forcing that air out. Inhale then comes automatically. You can kind of get it by panting. That's how you pump the belly, and then just through the nose instead. Keep going. Yep, you're just breathing out in and out just through the right nostril. Keep that left covered the whole time. And we're just sit nice and tall, spine open, stretching from the crown of your head to the base of your spine. Again, pumping that energy in and out of the navel. And if you're long, deep breathing, make that breath really powerful. You're still moving a lot of air, a lot of energy, creating that pranic energy in the body. So you're still working, even if you're not doing the breath of fire. If you are doing the breath of fire, keep it going, keep it up. Less than a minute left, almost there. Nice deep inhale. Hold the breath, release that left hand down. Hold, hold, hold. Roll the eyes to that third eye. Take another sip of air. Hold and exhale, relax, eyes closed. Breathing deeply here. Meditate for clear, focused, crisp. And then we're going to take the hands, we're going to clasp them up over the head, on the top of the head, the crown of the head. Elbows nice and wide. Again, spine nice and straight. Pull up through the crown of the head, down through the tailbone. And again, we're going to begin that breath of fire here. If your eyes are closed, roll them up to that third eye. You're wakening up your inner space and that light within. Inhale. Hold the breath. Roll the eyes that third eye again. Pull up on that root lock. Take another sip of air. And exhale, relax. Bring the hands down on the knees. Breathe. Imagine that energy where your hands were pressing out through the top of the head, that seventh chakra. All the way from the base of the spine, coming up through the spine, through the crown of the head. All right. The next one's gonna be hard for me to demonstrate, but being paper, you're lying on your belly, and we're gonna come into bow pose. So you're lying on your belly, you bring your chin to the mat, and then you're gonna, I'll just pretending this is the floor, chin to the mat, and then you're gonna bring your feet into the butt, grabbing backs of the or tops of the feet or the ankles with your hands. And when you're here, you can either stay here, begin breath of fire here, or you can come all the way up, pressing the feet into the hands, come all the way up into bow pose, lifting the chest and the head off the ground, eventually bringing the knees and thighs off the ground if you like. And we're going to begin breath of fire. We're here for 2 minutes, so kind of find a posture where you can be for 2 minutes with breath of fire. Again, if breath of fire is a little too intense for you in this pose, long, deep breathing. It aids in digestion and releases tension in the upper back and shoulders. About 30 more seconds, almost there. Great job. Keep breathing. Focus on not compressing the spine here. So again, you're always trying to lengthen the spine, even though you're in that deep arch. Find space. Teacher always says finding liberation in this time. So finding liberation in a pose. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath. Roll the eyes to that third eye. There. And exhale, lower down. Let's bring the left ear to the mat. Hands down on either side, palms face up. Just relax on the belly here. Shake your hips out or swivel your hips around a little bit. And then find a place of stillness for about 30 seconds in total relaxation. All right, let's roll over to our backs. Legs straight out. This is going to be our last little breath of fire exercise for a little bit. We'll do one more at the end. We're going to do stretch pose. So you're going to bring the chin to the chest, arms up, point the toes, bring the heels inches off the ground, and begin breath of fire here. Again, we're here for 2 minutes. It's quite a long time to do breath of fire and stretch pose like this. So you can always bring the heel down, 1 foot, and switch. Halfway, I'll let you know. Or just keep kind of trying to kick those feet up. Do your best. This sets your navel point. This is a really good, navel core exercise. Obviously, I'm sure you can feel it right now. One minute down, 1 more minute to go. Less than 30 seconds left. Ten seconds. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath. And exhale, release. Lying flat on the back. Relax. Breathe here. See where that navel point energy is going, circulating outwards in the body, where that pranic energy is going. It says this set brings in solar energy for expansiveness, enthusiasm, and a clear, action-orientated mind. It also centers and aids digestion and body purification. Best practice in the morning. All right. So now we're gonna tuck the hands underneath the butt a little bit, or the hips, palms face down. You're gonna lift the feet, keeping the head on the ground about 18 inches, lifting the heels. And now we're gonna start doing bicycles. So you can flex the feet. I'm just gonna push the heels around in the circle, bringing the knees towards the chest. Nice, long, deep breathing. This set is full of things I can't really do very well being pregnant, so apologize for not doing the whole thing. One more minute. This is balancing in the first three chakras. So from navel point down, navel, sacral, root chakra. It's helping to balance those. We kind of worked a lot of breath of fire really goes navel up. We're kind of really working that energy up. So now we're balancing that energy below the navel. 30 more seconds. And keep bicycling. Inhale deeply. And exhale, bring the legs straight out on the mat, lying flat on your back. And keeping the hands tucked under the hips, you're going to point the toes here. And we're going to inhale here. Exhale, lift the legs up to 90 degrees. Inhale, lower the legs down. Exhale, lift them up. And continue. Almost like that lowering of your legs. So it's like you're pulling your breath into the navel as you lower. Exhale it out as you lift the legs, so that the movement is helping with the breath. Think of it that way. A lot of times in yoga, I'm not really sure how to breathe or when to inhale, when to exhale. When you're expanding the spine or like doing any sort of back bend, opening up the chest, you should be inhaling. That gives more support to the back. And then forward folding or bending the body in half anyway is an exhale. It's not always that way, but a lot of times it's kind of like a go-to for breathing techniques for yoga. finish up where you are with the legs. Sorry, inhaling down. Relax here, breathe here. Now we're going to roll onto our bellies again and come up into cobra or sphinx, kind of wherever you can be. Feet together, preferably. You can either have the elbows underneath the shoulders, or you can kind of push up into a cobra here. And if you can, you don't have to, but if you can, you're also going to lift your feet towards your head and reach your head back. So chin up, neck open. Breathe here. Long, deep breathing. Shoulders away from the ears. Open up that chest. Third eye. Again, focus opening up the chest, the neck. Opening your heart center. Focusing on that heart chakra now. And inhale deeply, roll as the third eye. You can push into the hands. We lift the elbows off. Reach back the head towards the toes. And exhale, relax. Let's flip over onto our backs. And we're just gonna bring the knees into the chest, head on the floor. Try to keep your whole spine on the floor from the shoulders down to your tailbone, and breathe deeply here. Just resetting the body, kind of a counter to that chest opening, belly opening. Nice, long, deep. Redistributing your energy. Yeah, when you're ready, let's tuck the chin and let's just start rolling up and down the spine. We're going to roll for about 2 minutes, so kind of get into a pattern with your breath. Kind of come and hover on the tailbone before you go back down. Hover up on the shoulders. Just releasing that energy up and down the spine, massaging up and down the spine with these rolls. One more minute. Keep going. "30 seconds." Matt likes to roll all over the place in this one. And keep rolling. Get that momentum, and then we're going to come all the way up to standing when you roll forward. Excellent. So, just a little bit. Next pose. It's our last pose before meditation, our last little push with the breath of fire. So, we're going to come up onto our tiptoes on the balls of our feet, heels off the ground, feet apart, or we'll close together wherever's comfortable. You can find balance. Arms out in front of you, palms face down, staring out at a point straight out in front of you. The fire here. Going to be here for 2 minutes. This raises energy to the higher center, so pulling up that energy up through the crown of the head. So again, imagine that line of energy, crown of the head down through the tailbone, down to the floor. Pulling up. Maybe for a slight tuck in the chin, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Shoulders away from the ears. It's like a lightning rod here. Less than a minute left, almost there. "30 seconds, almost there." Keep breathing. If you can, keep going with that breath of fire. Up. Feel that burn in your calves, maybe in your feet. It's okay. You're doing fine. 10 seconds. And inhale deeply. Hold posture, hold the breath. And exhale, relax. Come all the way down to seated. Easy pose. And let's bring the hands to the heart. Left hand on heart, right hand on top. Your sun, heart center. Closing the eyes down. Breathing deeply. Bring that energy of expansiveness to the chest. And again, so like imagine that light in the chest, the sun in the chest growing and growing with each breath. I'm going to read little bit about this Sun Tarot card as you breathe. For the Sun. Card number 19, the Sun. Historical tarots show different images depending on their era. Often there is either a single golden-haired child or alternately the Gemini twins riding the white horse, the logos, and carrying the sun. At other times, two children play in a garden protected by a secure wall while being bathed in solar light. These two represent humanity's future, destined to fulfill the promise that Adam and Eve supposedly abdicated. Other pacts show the two as mature man and woman, raising the possibility of the Tantra. This could also be an inner event, where in all lifetimes as a woman and all lifetimes as a man finally merge together into full consciousness within the individual. In the Tarot of the Holy Light, which is this deck I'm reading from, we represent this idea by showing the divine couple embracing outside the paradise garden while Apollo moves freely through the landscape, purifying everything his searchlight beams touch. Even as the previous year's leaves crackle underfoot, this is a sign of Pisces after all. Apollo causes the new growth of spring to begin all around. If there is a challenge that accompanies this card, it will be our ego's fear of our soul's true identity, in particular to our responsibility to give back to the creation. In an expanding universe, we will be continuously asked to increase our capacity for response. Now that we have passed the moon card, we know there is no oblivion we can hide in. No soul can remain stuck within the ego self-referencing worldview forever. Arriving at this androgynous light, it is not ending. In fact, it's the beginning of a whole new mode of living. Imagine gaining access to wisdom of all of one's egos, all of one's sins, all of one's learning experiences across 1,000 lives. Only an awakened soul can laugh and sing past the graveyard of human folly, becoming fully reconciled with all the pain, suffering, grief, horror, and oblivion that we impose upon each other as we grow in self-awareness. For this reason, we have put Apollo in the foreground, standing outside the paradise fence. Let him serve as a sign of release from limited programming, self-centered thinking. His cheerful music grants freedom from victimhood and the forgiveness of sins, ours and everyone else's. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One last time. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And let's come laying down on our backs for Shavasana. Displaying the feet, palms become nice and wide. I'm sure you have lots of room if it's just you during this class. I mean, depending on your living space, but take up a lot of room, be that sun, be expansive. And relax in Shavasana. Be like the sun and just simply be. And begin to start deepening your breath. Bringing the breath into the belly. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Winding your wrists and ankles. And let's inhale, bring the arms up over the head. Biggest inhale you've taken today, biggest stretch you've taken today. Point, stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Rock side to side on the spine, waking it up. And you can either roll over on the side, push yourself up to seated, or rock up and down on the spine. Come all the way up to seated, hands in prayer on the chest. Let's remind ourselves during this time of all this light to just sit and be, just like the sun. It gives out so much power and light almost effortlessly. So be like the sun. Let it be. Accumulate all things around you. Good, bad, past, present, future. And just learn to sit and be and observe in all that energy. Thank you, everybody joining us online. Thank YouTube for letting me do this and putting classes online during this pandemic. To the teachings of yoga coming from India, to the people of India. Love to all, light to all, peace to all. Taking a nice deep inhale. Lowering the forehead towards the mat, Satnam. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful solstice. And I'll see you next time. Bye.